Well, parenting is hard enough without having people on social media tell you exactly what you're doing wrong. There is a new book that has some suggestions on how to block out that kind of noise. It's called Instagram Moms Are Full of Shit, To Hell with Mom Shaming, and it's written by Edmonton mom Leslie Prosco. Leslie, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
So this book blossomed out of some writing that you were doing for a mom's blog. What kind of observations were you making about the online community?
I just noticed that the world kind of got a little mean in the last few years, and I didn't like that. A lot of moms are very supportive, but there's a lot that kind of go on and want to tell you what you're doing is wrong. And I don't believe that there's any really right and wrong unless you're harming your child. There's so many ways to parent out there, and I wanted moms to know that and know that it's okay. It's okay to not know what you're doing all the time. It's okay to not have your shit together all the time. That's just part of momming. It's a big game of winging it, and more moms need to hear like that they're doing a good job.
When you say that to moms, when you say that to other parents, is there a sense of, oh, okay, I am doing a good job then?
Yeah.
A sense of catharsis?
Yeah, I did a market yesterday, and two girls had come up to me. They had bought my book last week and told me they were giving it to one of their new mom friends. And they came up and they're like, oh my goodness, she cried. She loved this so much. She's like, this is exactly what she needed. And I was like, oh, that is my why. Like, that is why I wrote this book. That is success to me.
So let's dive into the book. You start off by discussing parenting styles. Can you describe some of them for us?
So there's the different parenting styles. Like, you've got so many influences in your life. There's, historical influences. There's generational influences. There's cultural influences. So everybody has a different story. Everybody was parented differently, and the world is changing. So we need to change with it. And you can take all these influences, but really every kid is different. Every mom is different. So there's not going to be like one set of rules for everyone.
And what about that decision to have kids or not have kids in the first place? What have you actually learned about that time in a woman's life?
So I actually have a few friends that decided not to have kids, and I talked to them a lot about it because they had a lot of shame from not only family, because most parents want to be grandparents, right? Mm-hmm. But other friends and just kind of like strangers being like, oh, do you have kids? Are you having kids? And it's like, well, that's a personal decision, mm-hmm. for one, and it's not always their choice. So that could be a very painful question to ask as well. Maybe they've been trying for years to have children and mm-hmm. they can't have children. So I think we need to be a little more tolerant of people's decisions. I would rather somebody not have kids that don't want kids than become a mom and not be the best mom.
Mm-hmm. Then sometimes comes pregnancy. So what societal expectations do we hear via social media during that time?
So basically everything that you do while you're pregnant, somebody will have an opinion on. They see you getting a coffee in line and they're like, oh, you can't have coffee. And you're like, well, no, you can. You just can't have an excess amount of coffee, and you don't know if I've had coffee yet that day. Mm-hmm. Or like sometimes you get some mad cravings. And sure, there's going to be things that you're supposed to stay away from. But you can make that decision. Mm-hmm. As long as you're making kind of like a knowledge-based decision, then you do you. Like, I've been eating deli meats my whole life, and I've never gotten listeria. They say you're not supposed to eat it when you're pregnant because you could get listeria. Well, if deli meat is the only thing that you can keep down, in my opinion, that's your decision. Mm-hmm.
And you were actually also running during your pregnancy. So what kind of feedback did you get from people? I'm saying feedback because it could be positive, could be negative.
Yes. So I did have a lot of like positive feedback and being mm-hmm. like, oh, you go, mama. Mm-hmm. And like, I'd be out there with my little bump and like, oh my goodness. They're like,
look
oh,
at
you're still doing it. Yeah. And I decreased my distances. I run ultra marathons. So, I'm not going out there and running a 50-mile race when I'm 8 months pregnant. But, a 5-10K, that wasn't hard for me. But people would kind of look at you at times and be like, well, isn't that safe? Should you be doing that? Well, I was talking to my doctor. I was athletic beforehand, and that's okay. I wouldn't suggest somebody go out and run a 10K who's never ran a 10K before mm-hmm. in their lives and do that while they're pregnant. But everybody's different. And I was talking to my doctor, so it's really no one else's business.
Which I think would be the case with most things,
yes.
if not everything, right?
Yeah.
So inevitably, of course, people are going to share some less than positive feedback, like some of the comments that you mentioned.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I think the older I get, the less I care what other people think. I'm an older mom, so I think that made it easier for me. I mean, back in my 20s, like there's no way I would have left the house without makeup on. So I think a lot of those comments would have hit me a lot harder. I mean, there is the stuff that hurts, and I take it with a grain of salt because I know what I'm doing, and I know that my kids are happy and healthy and they're alive at the end of the day. So I think that I'm doing a good job. And I know that I don't have my shit together all the time, but that's fine, right? Like
we're all making our own journey.
exactly, like that's just part of it. That's part of life.
How do you think social media has changed that journey for people and for parents?
Well, like our parents didn't have this. So I'm sure that there was mom shaming. There's been mom shaming since like the beginning of time. But it was hidden. So it would be like, maybe you could see people gossiping about you, or it was behind closed doors. Whereas now it's very out in the open, and you can post anonymously too. So you go into these mom groups to get like, opinions and to build your village. But there's going to be people in there that are like, you're doing this wrong and you're doing this wrong. And oh my goodness. And then you think, oh my goodness, am I doing something wrong? Am I hurting my child? Am I doing like what I'm doing right now? Is that going to affect them for the rest of their lives? Like, it's hard to make any of those decisions. And having kind of these little nitbits of people that don't know you, don't know your situation, and they come on and tell you what you're doing wrong. Sometimes it gets stuck in your head if you hear it enough, right? And it's not right.
So what one sentence do you want moms to remember when they get that comment that just kind of irks them? Leslie Prosko says, they don't know you. They don't know your kids. They don't know your situation. You are doing a good job. Your kids are happy, healthy. You made it to the end of the day and everyone's still alive. Doesn't matter what your house looks like. Doesn't matter if you haven't showered in 3 days. You have done a good job. And there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. And it's all part of the journey. You are doing a good job. I think those are great words of advice, regardless of if you're a parent or not. I'm going to wear them the rest of the day.
Right.
Leslie, thank you for this.
Thank you so much.
That's author Leslie Prosko, an Edmonton mom of two.
Good afternoon, Mindara.